the videographer is a make or break on the situation. And I was chatting with Leanne about this, right? Because she's been wrestling with a few, and we were going back, and I was like, listen, I said, and I want your take on this. I believe the videographer has to have a vision and sees things rather than it needs to be cookie cutter, black and white. We're following this technique. They got to have a vision. They got to be creative with you in the story that you're trying to tell within that. How do you kind of coach, lead, look for the right videographer to really make this excel?
Okay, so this is going to be like a kind of like a multiple layered answer, but it's very important. So when I'm first of all interviewing videographers or editors, I will take a video that we've already done by like the way that we want it done, and I'll say, here's all the raw footage that our editor used. Now I want you to recreate this exact video. If they come on and they're like, the video is identical, I'm like, perfect. This guy listened to exactly what I told him I needed. He did exactly what I wanted him to do, and he made it a mirrored image. What happens is a lot of videographers or editors, they think they know what we need in the real estate business. So they'll take our stuff, and then they'll just start making it this crazy video that I've never seen before. And so it's very interesting to see the difference. And so is it, yes, you want them to have the creative freedoms and all this and that, but like, I also need them to create me a product that fits into our arena for our world. So the videographer, it depends what type of creator you are. I was just on a call this morning where I was telling the agent, I'm like, look, you need your videographer to be the director. I said, so they need to have a checklist. In my mind, I do this with my wife's videographer, is I send him a list of, hey, these are the 8 things that I need to make sure she hits on in this video. The videographer should be showing up on site. He should, like, once you've established this plan with him, this is what he should be doing. He should be showing up in advance and getting all the drone shots. He should be able to walk through the house if he has access to it to create a path for you, the creator. And then they also should be looking at, like, what are the hooks of this video? Does this thing have a killer shower that you've never seen before? Is there a bomb shelter or like a panic room in this house that's going to be very shocking that's behind the kitchen wall that you can pull out? Like, there's all of these things going on, and we call those like honey pots, and how you're going to layer those into the video. And then, you know, when you show up, is he just like, hey, the house is ready. Let's have a 15, 20-minute debrief or a briefing of like what's going to happen here. Let's get your thumbnail shots while I have the drone up in the sky, or I have my camera out when you show up on scene. You know, they're the director of your video, essentially. If you just need, this is where the mindset of like shifting from like, I'm a real estate agent, and it depends what you need. Like I said, everything's varied on what you need. A lot of agents, this is what happens. They show up on scene. The videographer shows up. The videographer has no direction. They don't know what's going to happen. They've seen all these millions of videos on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. And the next thing you know, the agent's cutting a 30-second video, walking out, adding all this crazy music, flipping their hair, talking about being a top producing agent. They just listed this $2 million house, blah, 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 blah. That's not what really drives results. That's great for agents to see other agents doing. Like, we all love those views, but that's not what pays the bills. So it goes back to, like, I always say, if I was solving for my consumer's problem, the viewer, the buyer, the seller, what information do they want to see? And then how can I keep them on the platform as long as possible and build a relationship with me? It's called parasocial, when your viewers build a relationship with you without knowing you. So that way, when they're ready to take action, I'm the first person they think of. And the videographer it's a very difficult position to solve for, because like I said, the problem is like, it depends what their image is. I literally was just looking online last night to hire Jackson in Houston, the first time ever, a videographer. I went through and screenshotted 50 videographers that I found, and not one of them in my mind was the solve for our problem, because of what I saw on their social media and how they were making content, because I know based on my experience what I'm going to end up with. So I've had very bad luck in the sense when I was early trying to find a videographer, because this is what I heard everyone saying: just find a high school kid that can do it on summer break. Just find someone in college that's looking to get started. It's like, dude, we're talking about making $400,000 a year on freaking video. How much should you spend on that position, you know? And then think about all the other stuff they can do. So is this going to be a one-day a job person, a 1 day a week person? Is this going to be a 2 day a week person? Or is this going to be a full-time person that's going to be my go-to homie? That's going to be basically my business partner. That's going to be my full-time film creator. And if that's the only position you're hiring for, so you're thinking videographer, director, content creator, they're going to make all of your Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of these things. That's basically a $80,000 a year to $100,000 a year position. And if you're generating the result and building the brand, and let's just throw EXP in there with agent attraction, dude, that position is going to be like your number one hire.
Yeah.
So it goes back to what we said. What is your goal and what are you hiring for and what are you trying to solve?